Hello there. There is one significant aspect to this Russia-Ukraine war that some people are unaware of. Well, a lot of people have been talking about the Russians possibly using chemical or even tactical nuclear weapons if they start faltering in their struggle to take Ukraine. But there is one thing that might keep Putin's hovering finger from choosing the nuclear option. He could well go for the chemical choice, but the nuclear option could well be closed to him. And that's because of a deal that Ukraine and China signed back in December 2013 that brings Ukraine under the Chinese nuclear umbrella. Ukraine has nuclear top cover, but from China, not from NATO. This was signed just before Russia's first invasion of Ukraine when they took control of Crimea. The then Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych and Chinese President Xi Jinping signed a bilateral treaty and issued a joint statement that said, "China pledges unconditionally not to use or threaten to use nuclear weapons against the nuclear-free Ukraine. And China further pledges to provide Ukraine nuclear security guarantee when Ukraine encounters an invasion involving nuclear weapons or Ukraine is under threat of a nuclear invasion." Now, many questions were asked at the time about this, with many pundits wondering why Beijing would bother to do such a thing. But the big question today is, would Xi Jinping honour such a treaty today against Russia? Or was that the point of it being set up in the first place? And what have Putin and Xi Jinping been saying behind closed doors, now that they've forged this supposed partnership with no limits? Now, it is said that the Chinese do not like to lose face, so they might not want to be seen to renege on such a treaty. But according to a piece in the South China Morning Post from October 2017, China does have a history of cherry-picking which treaties it observes. Think Hong Kong. And according to the Washington Times, Beijing has now censored their state media on the subject of this China-Ukraine treaty. So are they trying to airbrush it out of history? But I do find it strange that President Zelensky of Ukraine isn't pressing China publicly on this, or maybe he has been doing so in private. But it does add another dimension to this war, and Putin's threats in this department always seem to be aimed at NATO, but not directly at Ukraine. And maybe it's just another reason why the West is very reticent to get its boots on the ground in Ukraine. Because having a three-way swapping of the globe's largest national and NATO stockpiles of buckets of sunshine would not be a good outcome.